What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tony D2 Wild checking in once again, back with the Bang of the Day, guys. And I wanted to talk about this off the rip, man. Shannon Sharpe's departure of FS1. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a fan of FS1 more than First Take. When I wake up in the morning, sometimes at 10 a.m., 9:30, sometimes I wake up at 10:30, 11. The first show I go to is FS1. Tune in to Skip and Shannon and see their breakdowns of what's going on in sports. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I like Shannon Sharpe. I can't lie. You know, recently he's definitely made some headlines for his back and forth or his statements towards Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown had some statements back towards him that definitely shook the internet and had YouTube specifically going wild back and forth. And then I think it was followed up by he had his house broken into worth over $1 million worth of jewelry stolen. And then moved forward to now. Recent news coming out yesterday that he would be departing FS1 after the playoffs. New York Post writes here, Shannon Sharpe's immediate departure from Fox Sports caught his fellow analysts off guard. So, can I be honest? I didn't even know that this was the case. I had read, this is what I initially had read, and we'll learn more now as we read in. I had read that FS1 bought out his rights or bought out his remaining contract, meaning Shannon Sharpe would get paid for whatever he was owed, I would say, for the rest of his contract with FS1, and that he would leave after the NBA playoffs. One of the reasons why a lot of this was due to the turmoil between the two of them. Apparently, they was not seeing eye to eye. A lot of it started with Damar Hamlin. His if you remember him getting hit during what was it? It was, I want to say, during the regular season or at the end of the regular season, where he got hit and then had passed out and died literally, right, for like a couple of seconds or something, and then came back due to a specific hit in his heart. And Skip had made a tweet that was kind of, in my opinion, very, very obnoxious and disrespectful. Shannon Sharpe was a no-show later on that day and came back the next day and went off between the two. And Skip even retracted his statements and tried to backtrack and do some damage control, but in my opinion, what was said, and Shannon Sharpe, you know, since then they said that their relationship kind of ruined off on that. On Wednesday, the Post, Ryan Gasplin reported Shannon Sharpe and the network have reached a buyout agreement with the ex-NFLer tenure co-hosting Undisputed. A long time with Skip Bayless would come to an end after the NBA playoffs or finals. The news came after a palpable on-air tension between Sharpe and Bayless became apparent even to other media folks. I'm stunned by the news that Shannon Sharpe leaving Undisputed. I think it's a huge loss for FS1. Chris Bouchard said on Fox Sports Radio, The Odd Couple, on Wednesday night, I thought that he and Skip had at least gotten to a point where they could coexist, but apparently not. The friction between reached its peak when they disagreed over a tweet, and this is the tweet right here in particular that we were talking about. Let me see. Timeout, I'm not going to be taken down. Stand by the tweet. Let me see. I'm trying to see the specific tweet. They don't have a screenshot of it. But here's them going at it right here. They're going to play it. I guess they're not. I guess my internet on me.
Morning. There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture or innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus.
Sterling Sharpe, he's speaking of, who I believe broke his neck and made him retire. And in reality, people even said it, even Shannon Sharpe said it, that Sterling Sharpe was the better brother. And I agree. When you look at Sterling Sharpe's stats, I mean, this dude had the potential to be the greatest of all time, if not top five.
Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Let me finish.
Skip, let me finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Pissed.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought,
Skip, just let me.
I didn't know you were going to bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where DeMar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations, so clearly somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
So, yeah. Shannon Sharpe will be leaving Fox Sports after the NBA Finals. Chris Bouchard and co-host Rob Parker pinpointed when they believed the show stopped being about debate, opinions, and became personal. December 22nd episode with Skip Bayless used a Tom Brady comparison to take a shot at Shannon, a Hall of Fame tight end. The moment Skip claimed Shannon was jealous of Tom Brady and Shannon took off his glasses. I'm reading all over the place, my bad. That was a moment they were separated, Parker said. Skip even told him to put his glasses back on, and Skip didn't like that at all. Chris, we've had our fights on the radio, but we have to be careful to not cross lines. You never want to hurt your partner at the point to hurt the show. Chris Bouchard and Rob Parker were caught off guard over Sharpe's departure. Fox Sports Radio, the two noted that the buyout showed just how unhappy Sharpe was with the situation, though. Chris Bouchard and Parker went on the laud Sharpe's professionalism as it was all going along. Still, they remained as intrigued as everyone else is about Sharpe's landing spot. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He'll have plenty of suitors because he's made a brand of himself. So, like I stated before, man, I liked the show. Maybe not everybody else did, but I liked the show. And kind of like with Skip and Stephen A. departure, I don't think Undisputed is going to hit the same. It's not. First Take is doing good now, I would say. I like JJ Redick over there. But it's still, it's not going to be the same as the original. And I think that Shannon Sharpe, wherever he goes, I'm looking forward to it. FS1 buying him out, though, would mean that he's no longer even with them. So he might go to ESPN. Who knows? I mean, he has his Club Shay Shay on YouTube. He has a lot of other places to go as well. So I'm kind of curious to see where he ends up at. But I will state, like I said before, man, it's kind of disappointing because I actually did like the show. But if anything, I feel like this is Shannon Sharpe standing on his own too. This is Shannon Sharpe, sticking up for himself, because at the end of the day, man, the money that he was making, or the money he would have continued to make, was definitely going to be good. But the money obviously didn't matter to the lack of respect or his disapproval of his other partner out there. So I got to give him his due diligence for saying F Skip, man. People can hate Shannon because he likes, he is definitely a fan of LeBron James, very, very overbearing at sometimes. But this, obviously, I can say he put his foot down for this situation. So salutes to him, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes next. And I'm looking forward to seeing how FS1 holds on. Let me know, do y'all think FS1 is done, or is it gonna be good? I like Skip is cool, but Skip was not the reason. Stephen A was the reason, and Shannon was the reason. Skip was not ever the reason for me to be tuned into either one of those shows. I mean, he's definitely good, but he was the later end of that for me. That's just my opinion. So, teach his own. We'll see where he ends up at, though. But, yeah.